All right, man. The NBA is officially back. All the offseason stuff is over. Preseason games are irrelevant now, and we finally made it. Thank God. LeBron James will be entering his 20th season. Most of you guys, including myself, can barely even remember a season without this man. Now, this season will be an iconic one for Bron. Not only is he playing in his 20th year, he's projected to pass Kareem in the all-time scoring list. LeBron only needs 1,326 points to become the all-time scoring leader. Now, the irony of this with LeBron, he seems to always make scoring history literally against his biggest rivals. February 27th, 2008, he became the youngest to reach 10,000 points against who? Boston at Boston. Admittedly, a team he hates and a team he had multiple battles against. January 16th, 2013, he became the youngest to reach 20,000 points against who and where? At Oracle against Golden State, a team he met in the finals 4 consecutive times. January 23rd, 2018, he became the youngest to reach 30,000 points against who and where? At AT&T Center against San Antonio, a team he met in the finals 3 times, one of his biggest rivals. This season, and I don't know if they're lining it up like this or not, but with his career scoring averages of 27 points a night and barring any type of injuries, he's on pace to pass Kareem at around his 49th game. Their 49th game this year is against who? San Antonio. If he did it in his 50th game, their 50th game is against who? Boston at Boston. Even if he did it in his 51st game, their 51st game is against Brooklyn, Kevin Durant, arguably his biggest rival of his career. Speaking of KD and Bron, I told you guys last year, they haven't played in a game against each other in going on 4 years. The last time they played each other was Christmas Day of 2018. LeBron suffered a groin injury in that game and couldn't finish. So technically, the last time they finished the game healthy was Game 4 of the finals in 2018 when they were both on completely different teams. Seems like the NBA heard me because they're scheduled to play against each other November 13th, just 13 games into the Lakers season. Let's pray for both of their healths until then. Russell Westbrook last season became just the first MVP to be traded in 3 consecutive seasons. 7 months later, his boy James Harden joined him after he got traded to Philadelphia. If Russ gets traded this year, which is a big possibility, he'll once again break history and be just the first MVP to be traded in 4 consecutive seasons and be on 5 teams in 5 consecutive seasons. Last season, Kevin Love became the highest paid 6th man ever, making about $31 million and only starting about 4 games. Well, if Russ stays in LA and stays within this Darvingham 6-man experiment, he'll once again break history, becoming the highest paid 6th man ever, and he'll be the 2nd highest player in the league behind Steph as a 6th man. Speaking of Steph and the Golden State Warriors, they just extended Jordan Poole to a new 4-year, $140 million contract. That also came with Andrew Wiggins surprisingly signing a 4-year, $109 million contract, taking at least a $50 million pay cut. Now, all these contracts, they do come with very expensive penalties. The Clippers right now have the highest payroll in the league at about $192 million and the highest luxury tax bill at about $145 million. With the contracts Golden State just secured and assuming Draymond opts in next year, they'll be paying a higher tax bill than their whole damn payroll next year. We've literally never seen a team come anywhere near $200 million in luxury tax penalties for a season. Next year, we can possibly have 2 of them. I picked Denver to be the first seed in my bold predictions video. Very bold, I understand. I broke it down why though. If that actually happens, it will be hard for Nikola Jokic to not win his 3rd consecutive MVP. If he did win the MVP this year, he will be just the 4th player to win it 3 consecutive times and the 1st player to do that in 37 years. Great news for Boston Celtics fans. Yes, this offseason has been a little up and down, a little rocky. You get Malcolm Brogdon, you get Danilo Gallinari, then Danilo Gallinari gets hurt in non-NBA basketball. You lose your first-time head coach that just took you to the NBA Finals. Like, it's been a lot going on in Boston. But history, surprisingly, is on their side. The last time we seen a coach get fired after making his first finals in his first season as a coach was David Blatt in 2016. He immediately got replaced by Tyronn Lue, who at that time became the youngest head coach in the NBA. Boston pretty much has the exact same situation. Joe Mazzulla just became the youngest head coach in the NBA, and when Tyronn Lue did it, he won the NBA championship in his first year and became one of the better head coaches in the league, so maybe that can happen for Boston. Jonathan Isaac, the 6th pick in the 2017 draft, he's expected to return this season. It's easy to forget that he even plays basketball. The last time this man played in an NBA game, he was 22 years old. He's 25 now. Michael Jordan has been infamous for being a terrible GM within these last 10 years with Charlotte. But one thing this man did do right, and oh my God, was he right in 2020 hindsight. He decided to move on from their franchise player and really the only thing that was holding that team together, Kemba Walker. I vividly remember this article in 2019 trashing Charlotte for mismanaging that Kemba Walker offseason negotiation. Kemba Walker wanted a supermax contract with Charlotte, which would have paid him somewhere between 5 years, $188 million, based off his eligibility since he didn't make an All-NBA team. Reportedly, Charlotte didn't even offer this man a regular max contract. They wanted him to take around a 15% discount on just the regular max, not the supermax, a regular max contract. Now, as we all know, he went to Boston on a regular max deal, and needless to say, MJ was beyond right. Right now, Kemba is quietly sitting in the saddest situation in the NBA, and nobody's talking about it. He's sitting in Detroit, waiting to be waived, where no team is willing to pick up the rest of his salary, which is literally $2.7 million on a vet minimum. Nobody wants to pay $2.7 million to get Kemba Walker. Since leaving Charlotte, Kemba has repeatedly battled knee injuries. His numbers have drastically and steadily declined, and if he does get bought out by Detroit, that would be 2 straight teams in 2 straight seasons paying him literally to just go away. That's pretty sad. The 2017 NBA draft has featured possibly the most injured top 2 picks in history. I didn't look it up, but it seems that way. Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball. Lonzo is projected to miss significant time this year with that lingering knee injury, and Markelle seems to be out for an undisclosed amount of time with a new fractured toe. These two combined have played a total of 383 games. The last 2 picks of that very same draft, they've played 176 more games than the top 2 picks. That's literally 2 seasons worth of more games played. You rarely see that in a draft. This season, we're anticipating the return of 4 20-point per game scorers and Ben Simmons. Jamal Murray, John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, and Zion Williamson all missed the entire season last year. Assuming they all stay healthy, and I'll add Ben Simmons in there, that's about 108 points worth of buckets a night that we the NBA fans get back this season. And lastly, Udonis Haslam. He, like LeBron, is returning for his 20th year. But not only is he playing in his 20th year, he's joining Kobe with the 2nd longest tenure with one team in NBA history. Udonis Haslam hasn't played 100 minutes in a season in 5 years. That's basically 2 games worth of minutes. In Kobe's finale tour back in 2016, his last year ever playing, he played more minutes that year than Udonis Haslam has in his last 8 seasons combined. If I was an NBA player in my next life, please give me the Udonis Haslam career. That's a true undrafted legend. If you guys like this video, like this video. If you made it this far, comment your NBA champion prediction right now. Claim it before the season even starts. Mine is the Bucks. I want to hear yours. Turn on post notifications. Content is ramping up. The season is here. Subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media sites. Do all that great stuff, guys. And until next time, as always, pray for a healthy season, man. Pray for a healthy season. Stay tuned.